All right, well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gillideon podcast. This is our officially first episode. If you're looking at this from a year ago, then great. It's good to see you guys. So here we are. And I'd like to introduce to everyone Gil. This is Gil here.
I'm Gil.
He's a part-time bartender, and he knows a lot of things. He's really smart. All right, Gil, what should we talk about today?
Can we redo this?
Let's pick a topic. But not what we were just talking about, something else. Could be anything. Something that you know a lot about.
I know a lot about psychology.
Sorry about that.
Let's talk about that. Anything?
Let's talk about a particular part of it. Like, you know about like how to make people do certain things like intentionally.
Yeah, there's certain ways you can word things to make someone more likely to listen to you.
Right. Explain.
Like, let's say you're trying to convince someone to do something for you. One trick is you can give them like a reason. Like at the end of a sentence, you'll say like, I want you to do this because of this. And then because you give them the reason, it's like a weird thing where your brain like is more likely to do it. Because you have like a motive to do it.
Okay. So do you have any like specific, like what could I use that for? Like if I wanted to, could I use that to get someone to like pay me money off the street?
Probably. Like let's say you're trying to get someone to come in for like a party or something and they have to pay to get in. And they're saying, I don't know if I want to pay, it's kind of expensive. You could say like you should come because we have the best music or something, or just make up anything.
Or we have like a good atmosphere and we have lots of juice you can drink.
Yeah.
If you're 21, you have to be 21, obviously. But
yes.
It's really legal here. But yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
And then another thing you can do actually is there's something called like the in-group circle bias, where basically if you're trying to convince someone to do something and their friend is doing it, they're more likely to do it. So if you want to do like business with someone and you happen to be friends with one of their friends, you could go and message their friend first and tell them to like help you talk to the person. Like if that person goes and recommends you, then they're way more likely to listen to you and do the thing.
Yeah, because now they're biased towards.
Or you, even if the person doesn't recommend you, you could say that so-and-so told me to talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're way more likely to listen and not ignore you.
Right, because you activated like that part of their brain that's already familiar. So now you feel familiar to them, even though it's the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else should we talk about?
Is there anything else?
Oh, let's talk about the pandemic.
Oh, what my thoughts are on it, or?
Yeah, let's get your perspective on it. Let's get Gillideon's perspective.
I honestly think that this pandemic might not end for another few years, and that everyone thinks that it's just a social problem right now, but it's gonna be a really bad economical problem.
Yeah.
A lot more people are gonna get screwed economically, and they're not even gonna worry about the social reasons in another year or two.
That makes sense. And it is, I think it's gonna stay around. Like they're not gonna be able to get rid of it. It's just too viral because it's gonna, even if a lot of people like even get it and then they're immune to it, it's still gonna exist somewhere, and people can still get it. So they have to figure out how they're gonna help people either avoid it, or they have to be able to treat people who get it and make sure that they're okay.
Yeah, even once they make a vaccine, there's still going to be people getting it. But
Yeah.
the problem is they might not be able to make a vaccine for another like 2 years. Everyone thinks it's going to happen quickly, but I don't know how easy it is for that to happen.
Yeah. And plus, like, vaccines they don't prevent you from getting sick. They tend to make it this whatever sickness if you have symptoms, they tend to make it more mild. So like it would be good for certain people that are vulnerable to get a vaccine, but like everyone else, like young people especially, they tend to have either mild symptoms or they don't even have any symptoms at all usually. So it's sort of like the kids that already have been vaccinated, sort of.
Yeah.
Just naturally. And then yeah, just over time it's also going to mutate a lot, and it's unlikely for like viruses to get that contagious like the way it is now. So it's a very unlikely thing. So it's as it mutates, it's most likely going to become less contagious over time, which is also a good thing. Because this is just like one of those rare events where it actually becomes like so contagious where it can travel through the air like that and you can get infected. Normal cold viruses don't do that.
Yeah, apparently once you get it, it makes your immune system like less likely to get it, but yeah, it can still change and you can get it again, which stinks.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how the vaccine's gonna work because like when was the last time they created a vaccine for like a cold virus? Like you never heard of that. Like getting vaccinated for the cold.
Even when they have like a flu virus, it doesn't work 100% of the time.
Yeah. All I know is that like when I got whenever the years that I got the flu shot are the years I actually got the flu later, and then the years that I didn't get the flu shot, I haven't had any flu symptoms whatsoever. Like I haven't had a flu shot in like 3 years now, or 2 years or something. I haven't been sick like that, so I don't know if it has anything to do with it. But.
And then also because of the virus, a lot more people I feel like are gonna be doing work online.
Yep.
And there's gonna be some jobs that are gonna change, I feel like in the next few years completely after this virus.
There's a lot of them that already changed like that. Like now they're just doing it online because they like it. Like the bosses like it better because they get to work from home and they're rich. So like they get to work from their beach house or whatever.
Yeah, because the way
for like the employees, because the employees aren't as rich as them, so they're stuck in their like boring houses, and they actually maybe enjoy like going out to work every day. Oh my god!
It's Oren.
Tell everyone his name.
That's my brother Oren.
Oh my god! You'll see him again in future podcasts probably.
Yeah, not right now. Anyway, what else is? Oh yeah, I was gonna say that another thing, psychologically, people are really lazy.
Yeah.
And once they're used to doing stuff online, they're not gonna want to go back. So one thing that I found is that a lot more people I think are buying stuff online now. And after the virus ends, people could technically start buying stuff in person, but I think a lot of them are gonna continue to buy stuff online.
Definitely. It's going to change people's lifestyles like for the rest of their life.
Yeah. I feel like
people are like learning that they can do stuff that they didn't realize before. Like all this stuff you can do online with like delivery, and even like getting delivery like from restaurants. Like people are still doing that. I was walking around Philly today and I saw like so many deliveries still happening. Like it's like during the daytime. Like there's always deliveries happening while I was walking around like center city and stuff, and I haven't seen that before. So.
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna have to be a lot more online businesses and less in person forever now.
Yeah.
Because people are just gonna get used to it.
Exactly. And that's a good thing for people that are trying to make money online. This is like the best time to do that, which is really cool.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize is in general, whenever the economy is not doing well, it's easier to start a business. It's weird than when the economy is doing well.
Yeah. Yep. Because when the economy's not doing well, a lot of people are like stuck at home. Either because they got like stopped working or whatever, and then they're on their computer. It's like, what else are you gonna do? Either watch TV or be on your computer.
Oh yeah, you got cut out for a second. I hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were cut. You froze for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just saying, like, when the economy is doing bad, that means less people are working their job like normal. So they're at home, and they're probably on their computer when they're at home because they don't know what else to do, or they're watching TV or something like that. But then they're on their computer and they're on the internet and they find stuff and
Yeah.
maybe they buy stuff or not. But that makes sense.
Yeah. And another thing is apparently right now I found out that ads are really cheap.
Yeah, it's like
Because
it's like cents, right?
yeah, because ads would normally be for businesses that were in person and online, but a lot of the in-person businesses closed, so there's less businesses.
Right. Oh
So
yeah.
the online businesses are doing better and they're getting cheaper ads, so they're making more money than ever in history.
Yep. Oh, for sure. Yeah, and it's also like pay per view, so like it depends on how many views, and then even if they get lots of views, they're gonna get lots of sales then too, because that would equal it out. Which would mean they would still be making more money since the prices are lower for the ads in general. So they'd be paying less for that and making, even if they make the same amount of money, they're still making more in that case if it's cheaper, which is really cool. I should put some ads up for this podcast.
Oh yeah.
I have like $500 from my completely illegal party business that I used to run. Still like 500 in cash in my box.
Oh wow.
Actually 550 now because I just got paid for helping a friend moving something in Philly. So
That's
still
good.
making money. Yeah. So I have that money like stashed away for that kind of stuff. Like
Another surprising thing is that apparently Facebook is one of the best places to run ads.
Yep, that's what I heard. I saw
It's
ads
like,
about that on YouTube saying that Facebook is the best place to run ads.
yeah, they're really cheap and you can target them specifically towards people who are interested in whatever you're selling.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of people on Facebook too. Like I don't know if there's more people on Facebook than YouTube, or I don't know how that works.
I actually searched it up. The most people use Google, then YouTube, and then I'm pretty sure Facebook is third.
Yeah, but I think there might be more ad visibility on Facebook maybe because it's like
Yeah, on
you have to go on
YouTube,
the side a lot, but like YouTube you have to watch a video to see ads mainly. But on Facebook there's
YouTube,
constantly like ads. Yeah.
YouTube, I feel like most people just skip it. And on Facebook, since it's like not videos and it's pictures, people will like glance at it and are
Yeah.
more likely to click on it.
And since they're pictures, they stay there. So like a video, like when you're skipping it, it's there for 5 seconds. And then like on Facebook, it's like usually like an image form, so it's like there the whole time. So like it's going in your subconscious because you're like seeing it in the background.
Yeah, and it only takes a second, and people are lazy, so they wouldn't take the time to watch a video usually.
Yeah, especially like a 10-minute video. I've seen ads like I've clicked on ads like just for fun to see them, and then some of them go on for like 10 minutes. Or I didn't even click on it. It was just like a skip ad thing, and I just let it play, and it said it was going to go on for 10 minutes. And it was actually like entertaining to watch it. Like they know what they're doing, like how to tell you what they're offering and everything. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Another interesting thing you can actually do is if you're thinking about making an ad or like you know approximately what you want to like market to people, but you don't know exactly what you want to do, is you can go on and search up whatever you're trying to market to people and then find competing ads with the ones that you're trying to make in the same industry.
Yeah, and then like copy what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You can also see like what people are more likely to like click on and stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's like basically ad research. That's what that's called.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that.
And then you figure out what's working. Like the more time you put into it, the more likely you are to get closer to defeating your competition. Like if you don't put that much time into it, you just put an ad up without really like doing as much as you can, you're really at a disadvantage compared to like the competitor who's doing really well. They obviously know what they're doing. They obviously put a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
Definitely, like the more time you spend on stuff like that, the better. Like don't just put an ad up real quick without like completely spending like a long time on it.
That's actually becoming also one of the bigger parts of marketing now. I feel like back before the internet and social media was really popular, most of marketing was literally just either talking to people door to door or like calling them on the phone.
Yep.
And now I feel like over 50% of marketing is all just like internet ads.
Don't forget billboards. They still have billboards.
Yeah. Oh yeah, billboards actually can work, but a lot of it you don't have to talk to people anymore.
I know. It's
You
amazing.
can have like millions of people see it.
Yeah, I don't think like telemarketing over the phone, I don't think that works these days because a lot of people just get angry at it and they usually don't respond well to it unless maybe if you're really old, no offense, but like if you're really old and somebody calls you and you're like, oh, hello, and then like that person actually thinks that they want to talk to them and be friendly, but that's not what's happening. They're just trying to get your money.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of how it would work. Like everyone else knows what's going on.
Another thing that's interesting is some people specialize on like social media to advertise something. And what they'll do is they'll go on to like an influencer's account, and it's not the influencer, it's someone working for the influencer, and they'll like sell people stuff in the DMs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A lot of people don't know about that. It's interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. They
There's
definitely
like,
make a lot of money from that though.
yeah, that works a lot better than cold calling because it's people who are already fans of the person.
Right. Yeah. All right, who's gonna win the election?
What?
Who's gonna win the presidential election?
Oh, I honestly am not sure, but if I had to go with my gut feeling, I would say Trump. Not because I support him, but because I feel like once you are president, it's easier to win again.
Okay, that makes sense.
I personally do not know who would be a good president and do not follow politics enough.
Well, right now, like none of the candidates will be a good president right now. Obviously, usually there's never a good president to pick from, but it's either like you have to figure out who's better than the other one. That's really what's
who's less bad a lot of times.
Yeah.
Some people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I honestly feel like politics is just usually bad in general. No matter who they vote for, not enough happens.
Yep. Yeah, there's like the right people usually don't get into being like trying to be the president. Like it's always the right people that are not like involved in that stuff when they should be. Like if they're involved, then it would just be like perfect.
The problem is most people who are actually like geniuses wouldn't go into politics. They're gonna be doing something that's gonna give them like make them rich or something usually first.
And the reason why is because like politics is so crazy, and that's what makes them not want to go there. Because just politics in general. Like if that wasn't a thing, if it was like not like all this political madness, then they'd probably be more likely to go towards that kind of thing. Like
yeah.
If it wasn't so crazy, I would go towards that.
Yeah, I feel like no matter what you do in politics, there's always gonna be people who hate you, and it's like very extreme. The news, I feel like, focuses more on like the negatives for some reason.
Of course.
About the people.
Well, yeah, it's they make their money off drama, so they have to look for all the crazy uprisings and all the crazy arguments and fights, and especially like criminal stuff. They have to make it look like that's really happening in extremes when it's actually not. Like it's actually like 99%, I think, is peaceful, like around everywhere, maybe 98%, and then like that 1 or 2%, the news channel like just shows it, and only that. So like they don't show the 98% that's like not having a problem. If they did, it would be boring. Like why would you watch like people safely going home from their house on the subway? Like this person made it safely home on the subway. Their family was not shot up on the sidewalk.
And I'm mad.
Today, the president actually did a good thing for America. He helped people get money. Have you ever heard that on TV?
Yeah, that would be too boring.
Today, all these kids made it through high school without dying. or they made it
Wow.
to college and they not one of them died. It's incredible. Yeah. See, that kind of news would not work. There'd be too many like stories like that to tell, and no one would care. Like no one cares if everyone's okay. They only care if people aren't.
Yeah. I feel like already in general, most people they'll hear a news story and then they'll forget about it like 5 minutes later a lot of times.
Yep.
Unless it's something that affects them directly. It's funny that
Yeah,
there's
like the little quick stories where like in some town somebody got like shot and they're in the hospital or something like or a store got robbed at this time. Like you hear about that, they just throw it in there because it's interesting, but you just don't you don't even remember you heard it like the next day. You already forgot about it.
yeah, it's almost like clickbait. It's like you get people's attention and then they forget about it.
Yep. And they usually do it like in between segments, like one part of the news that they're gonna tell you you're gonna see this thing, this topic, and then after that they say, oh, in this town this guy got robbed and beat up on the street or something. And then they'll just jump to the next topic just to keep you like engaged so you don't like fall off. I think that's pretty interesting. I haven't watched the news like on TV in a long time. I watch on YouTube sometimes like clips of stuff that I think that seems interesting to me, but I don't
Yeah.
watch TV.
I personally don't watch the news anymore, but if I hear about something that I think might be important, I'll like Google it or watch a video on YouTube.
Yeah. I think that's a way more popular way of going about it these days. Especially a lot of people don't have TV anymore, or they don't use their TV if they have it. Except for really lazy people. They'll use TV. Especially people that like got off their jobs and they're getting their stimulus checks. Like they're definitely on TV a lot and they're definitely drinking. Sure.
Yeah.
What else?
Mhm. Another thing about the news that I can say is I honestly feel like people are almost like pulled into it, like it's a trap. Like everyone talks about it and then it just keeps pulling in more people and everyone just watches the news because that's what everyone else does. But really, a lot of the topics end up not being decided by like the actual like president or the actual government. I feel like a lot of it ends up being decided like on financial issues. So I feel like people should really, if they want to make a big change to the US, the only way to do it, it's kind of sad, but they have to like make a business and make a lot of money and then donate it towards a cause. Like honestly, if you want to make a change, you have to be rich and donate money. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, of course. And the problem with that is so many people are just too lazy and they don't realize that they can do that. Like they'll spend time playing video games.
Oh yeah.
Instead of doing research and seeing what's possible. And most people don't have like money as a priority. Like they're usually just looking for a job. They're usually the model for them is like I got to go to college, get a degree, and then find a job that I can work at for like 20 or 30, 40 years. And I don't like that idea because then you're just going there for specific like income where there's like really no chance of like scaling it. The only way to really scale any kind of income is to create your own business and then own it and then just build it up bigger and bigger and bigger. You can't do that when you're working for someone else because you're just getting paid a set amount and it's up to the boss to determine if you get a raise or not. And that's just, I don't like that at all. So that's what I thought I was going to be doing, but I'm not going to be doing that. Officially, I'm going to be a multimillionaire in a couple of years. I'm saying this to the internet right now. If you're watching this 3 years from now, I kept my promise. Congratulations. I'm now living on the beach right now in the future. Hello, future self. Yeah, I made it. I know I made it. So yeah, this is the first video. So just a message to everyone that's watching, if you're watching this first podcast. But yeah, what's your input?
It's really funny that you said that because I read a book recently about business that said something really similar to what you said. It's a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it basically talks about how the main character had one dad who was like a business owner and the other dad was an employee. and it talks about how most people, their mindset is just to be an employee their whole life. And they don't realize that even the top paid employees aren't like anywhere close to some of like the decent business owners.
Yeah.
Like eventually the amount of money you can make is capped because whoever owns the company is not going to pay their employee more than them.
Exactly.
And sometimes the employee ends up working harder than the person who owns the business.
Yes. That's usually how it always goes. Like the boss literally can just come in and out. The boss just like has everybody running, has the manager running the show for him, and they do all the work. And then the boss gets like probably 70 or 80% of the money. And then the rest of it gets like dispersed among the managers, and then the rest goes to the employees. It's usually how it goes.
And the main thing that I like that the book talked about actually is that most people, their whole life, everyone they know is like telling them to be an employee. So that's just what they do just because everyone tells them, and they never even consider running a business.
Yeah, especially like parents. Like parents will tell you have to go get a job. Like they're just assuming that that's the only way you can get good money. But that's not actually the best way to make a lot. If you want to make lots of money and be independent, that's not the best way to go about it. It can be good for like a period of time at first just to get your own money. But then you definitely want to like break out of that and invest into creating something that you run yourself, and so you can be a boss for yourself. Then that way you can be in charge of your money and build it up and get bigger and bigger amounts. And I think that's really important, especially if you're a creative person. It's really important to have lots of money at your disposal because that means you have more resources to work with. And if you have limited resources, it's hard to be really creative because you can't do everything that you can possibly do. But if you have like millions of dollars to work with, you can create like a whole studio and buy all sorts of stuff like machines or materials that you want to use. Like if you're making like videos or movies, you can really go and get the expensive professional stuff like cameras and stuff, microphones. And if you don't have money like that, then you're just really limited and you're not going to really enjoy being a creative person or artistic or whatever in that case. And that's me. I love creating like videos and movies. So that's why it's my priority to become like super rich, so I can just like not only do whatever I want, but I can also get all the materials I want, so I can create like amazing stuff. Because without like access to like all this professional like equipment, like cameras and computers and software and like studios like green screens and all that, it really limits what you can do. And I have so many ideas that require that stuff. And I also want to be rich, so I can just like live on the beach too, and that's really important. So yeah. So me and Gil are, if you're watching this, this is a video from 3 years ago. If you're watching this 3 years from now, me and Gil are business partners, and we're making millions, probably a year, a couple million a year. I'm guessing. We're each making a couple million. So, and our next goal at this point is to make $1 billion a year. So we're probably doing that by creating multiple businesses and hiring managers for those businesses to run them for us and just keep and investing in new businesses and stuff. So if I'm correct, if you're watching this in the future, I'm correct, then please like this video and send it to your friends if you think it's interesting. All right. What do you think, Gil?
I think that you will be accurate, and that people are going to be watching this and be like, oh my God, can't believe that happened.
And they're not going to believe that it happened from like this first podcast. Like they're going to think, oh, we're just doing this for fun or whatever, and nothing's going to happen. It's just a podcast. They don't realize they don't realize where we're heading. Because our goals they will be accomplished. That's all there is to it.
Yes.
We're excited about it. So it's a matter of time. I think that's a good podcast for today. All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone, to the Gillideon Show. It's been great talking to Gil here. myself. My name's Adrian, by the way. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Adrian. Yeah. So I think this is an interesting video. Definitely like this if you like the content. And if you have any ideas for future topics, please put them in the comments below. And yeah, like this video, but only if you like it. If you don't like this video, please don't like it. I'm really important. It's really important to be honest these days. So yeah. And if you dislike this video, don't dislike it because that's not nice. Thank you.